everyone, welcome to this review Tuesday, and today I am reviewing this jump ring maker. I'll link all the information where I bought it in the description box below and where you can get one if you so choose. I bought one with multiple sizes. I'm not going to use every single size for this particular video, so there's some thinner ones, thicker ones. I'm only going to use one or two just to show you the difference, and I'm going to use different gauges so that you can see, and then you can decide if you want to get it or not, or if you don't like it. So it's called a jump ring maker, and all the different mandrels fit in. You just screw them in like this, and then I believe the wire, so I'm going to use just some 0.8 here. What you do is, I kept doing it this way and this way is wrong. I learned that the hard way. So we go through frontwards and then we bend that over so it kind of forms like a hook, and then you start wrapping like this, push it down, and then what you're supposed to be able to do is, I still can't quite get the hang of it, but you're supposed to be able to like hold it and then so that it's easy, but I personally don't find that all that easy. Like, I end up creating quite a bit of distance between my jump rings when I do it like that. Maybe if I started like further up to where my hands are, like that would be easier for me. Let's give that a no. See, I'm just creating really loose loops now. Okay, so no, I don't find twisting it easy in any way, shape or form. So I'm just going to unloop that, pull that off, and then I'm going to cut that. So I don't find twisting it like that easy in any way, shape or form. So I'm not going to do that. But we're going to put this through again. And if I just use it like holding it and then twist it, it definitely is simpler than, say, when I make it on these and I have to keep like twist, 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 twist. But you are having to use more of your wrist, so from the point of view of dexterity, although actually because I'm not really having to hold it tight, I'm just having to wrap the wire around, this actually is quite easy from that point of view. It's just from an energy point of view, I'm probably using a bit more energy having to wrap. So those are going to be some good jump rings, and I purposely left some space between it this time because if you're going to cut them as jump rings, then you need the space in between. Sorry, my brain fog's bad, guys. I wonder how, if you do it loose, how well it actually stays. Let's give that a try. So let's just, obviously these aren't going to be exactly uniform. Let's just see. So I'm going to cut it off the reel here, and I'm going to undo that bit there. So, oh yeah, actually that's quite good. So if you wanted to do, I don't know, a look where you want open loops, it's actually quite useful, because I couldn't do that on, say, my step pliers here. I definitely couldn't do that. And on a gizmo coiling machine, oh my god guys, I'm so sorry. I had a crash the other day and my brain fog's always worse after that, so I apologise. So yeah, the openness of the loops is definitely something that I probably couldn't get on other tools, so that's actually really good. I do like that. So I'm going to switch from this. Should I switch to a different gauge? Yeah, let's give it a go. Alright, so it's easy enough to unscrew. Let's get rid of the 0.8. Should we use 1mm a lot, don't we, on this channel? So let's grab that, and should we go for the thickest one? I believe, so it says this creates like 10mm inner diameter. And for those that don't understand, so if you make, if you do chainmail, that information is really important because you need to have the inner diameter for fitting jump rings in between one another, and obviously the size of the wire you use then affects the outer diameter. So if I'm using a 6mm wire at this point, the thickness of the jump ring and the outer diameter is going to be different from me using a 1mm or even a 2mm. Obviously it's going to be completely different, so these tell you the inner diameter. So if you are a chainmail worker and you need to know that information and say you're not sure, because a lot of places will tell you one or the other when you buy in, it'll say either the inner diameter or the outer diameter. It rarely tells you both, and you need to know that for your creations. And I do really love chainmail as an individual. I haven't really done it on this channel before because it is quite tricky, and from the point of view of obviously people with dexterity issues and brain fog, and me trying to explain it, I don't know if I'd be great at it. If you'd like me to try though, do let me know. You know, I'm happy to give anything a go. I also am considering doing a resin tutorial coming up soon, so let me know if you'd like to see that as well. I know someone requested polymer clay. The only problem with that is that the tools I need to use will be too big for the screen area, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do that. But I've put it down, so if I ever, you know, get better camera equipment and can get further out and, you know, have a different setup, then I definitely would consider it. So yeah, inner and outer diameter, you control the inner diameter here with these different rods, would you call them? Yeah, so that's another thing. So we're going to try it with 1mm. Let's see how simple this is. Let's do that. I'm going to move these out of the way. So I'm going to hold that, and then, okay, so there is more resistance here, yeah, definitely. So when I do it, when I make them normally on my step pliers, it's definitely a lot easier energy wise, and probably speed as well, because I am having to fight to get around it. But again, if I was doing this for chainmail or needing a specific size, even if you're creating things with, say, chain, let me just grab this. Oh, it's all messed up. So here we have some decorative chain that I have. Just make this our camera. So I've just done like a necklace and it's got these different drops, but obviously the thickness of this chain is, I think it's like 3 or 4, maybe, no it's thicker than that, isn't it? Well, anyway, it's thicker than your average chain, and therefore I had to create loops that were bigger to go through it. And if you say you're using different types of chain or well, anything, and you need to use thicker jump rings, this is obviously a lot better, because again, that was something I would need to consider the inner diameter of more than the outer diameter. Okay, so I made a bit of a boo-boo on the first part of this video. I actually forgot to make the jump rings from the wire, so that was a bit silly of me. Thank you for the viewer who pointed that out. So I'm just going to do it quickly here, and then I'll re-upload it, the same video just with the extra bit in. So I did show you, you know, wrapping it around, doing that. And then to make the actual jump ring themselves, you want to have a little bit of distance between so that you can get in and out. You want a flush cutter pair of pliers, and you want to find basically where the beginning is. So the first jump ring I'm going to say on this side, and I'm going to start it here. Now I want to cut it flush on the side that the jump ring will be opening, so that we're going to have 2 flat sides. Don't drop the jump rings, that'd help. So because I went this side here, the side that we're going to have next to it, we're going to go in here the opposite way, and we want to be at the point where they're almost overlapping. You don't want to go too far over, and you don't want to go too far, basically too far on either side, because if I cut it here there'll be too big of a gap, and if I cut it here there'll be too much of an overlap. So I want to just basically go in almost exactly where we've just cut, and then again we're doing it so that it's the flush side, and then we have a jump ring with 2 flush edges so that they'll sit together. And then to do the next one, you've got to go in where you just were and cut it again on the flush side, because otherwise you've got a side which isn't going to sit properly when it closes. So you want to cut that off, and then do the exact same again, and then cut, and you've got another jump ring, and you just continue that for as many jump rings as you want. If ever you do see me make any silly mistakes like that, guys, please do comment below, because with my brain fog I can very easily miss stuff like this, and obviously it was a very obvious thing to use the jump ring maker to make a jump ring, and I still missed that. So what we do then is, for those that don't know, you've got your jump ring and you want to open and close it. You always close it like you're opening and closing a door, like this. Okay, and then you've got your jump ring there. So I do think this is a really good tool. I do like it. I don't find this easy in any way, but the fact that it's thicker on the end is easier for me to hold it, so from that point of view I like it. Maybe if I was doing that, it just isn't easier for me at all, but having that thicker area is easier for me for the point of view of grip. So I do like this, and I think I would recommend it if you are doing chainmail or anything like that, or if you do have different types of chain. I just thought then, because I was on about different chains, so this one is obviously quite a bit thicker. I think it's about I think it's just shy of a centimetre thick, so 10mm. So I would need probably a jump ring of this size to use with this particular chain. So if you do have any chains that are more decorative, larger, and obviously not just your standard thinner one that you can buy, if you do have chains like that, this is obviously a really good tool for that. And you get a lot of different steps, so it does go from thinner to thicker, and then you can create as you like. So actually, as a tool, I do like this, and I would recommend it as long as you're going to use it. If you're not going to use it, and you know at this point it's not really important to your creations, then obviously don't bother. Just use, you know, I definitely do recommend getting these pliers. I'll link them below if you're interested. I do definitely recommend getting a pair of these because I use them all the time, in case you haven't noticed in the tutorials, or even a gizmo file. But if you are taking your jewellery making to the next level, then yeah, definitely do consider this tool. So as a review Tuesday, I approve. I do like this tool. There are some flaws to it that aren't useful to me, from again being disabled, having dexterity issues, not having the strength of grip, and even the energy to fight it is easy. If I was perfectly healthy, I wouldn't even think twice about those things. Obviously I do aim this at people like myself, spoonies. So that's just something I have to think about. So I hope this tutorial has been helpful for you guys. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching. If you could hit that like button and subscribe, that would be amazing. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. I'm about 500 at the moment. I think I'm just under it. So obviously I'm like halfway to my goal. So if you want to support me on my journey and see more of the videos I've got coming up, then that would be brilliant. Thank you so much for giving me your time and energy. I love you all, and I hope to see you all again soon. Bye!